Hello and welcome, my friends, to Let's Play The Wolf Among Us. And this is, I believe, the last episode, Cry Wolf. I'm not sure if this is actually the last episode, or if this is just a season finale. Maybe this is the last episode and it like leads into the comics. I don't know. Either way, I'll probably start reading the comics after this, because I have had several people suggesting to me that I should do just that, and I always liked a darker story, a more realistic story, and this take on the fables have really got me interested in this game, in the comics. I mean, so. Yeah, that's going to be fun. Before I go any further and start up the game, there's a few things I'd like to explain. You all know me as a guy who does things by the book. I like that. It's who I am. I have no problems with rules, regulations, authority, and that resonates into the game. So it's become a bit of a thing for me to do these things, not because I just want to do lawful options, choices, but because that's who I am as a person. And it has caused a few reactions. And I don't mind if you keep it civil. I mean, games like this and The Walking Dead, there's no. What you have to think about is that there's no right or wrong inherently, in the game. What is right, what is wrong, that is like judged on your own priorities and values. So what's right for me might not be a thing that's right for you, because you have another set of priorities, other values. It could be all from, and this in turn can be influenced by, culture and upbringing, family, experience, whatever. But what is important here is that there's no right and wrong. At least not when they made the game. What is right and wrong is in the eye of beholder. So when I watch some people and they make like unlawful choices, they don't send Colin to the farm. I'm like, that doesn't seem right. Why should he have a pass and not others? And what might seem odd to me, the person playing it, it's like a natural thing. Of course I'm gonna help my friend, even if I'm breaking the rules, because that's the right thing to do. And for me, it's like the wrong thing to do. So when you comment on other people's LPs and this LP, keep in mind that their values and priorities are not the same as yours. Or might not be the same as yours. And it's a fun thing. Games, choices, and sharing it online, because you get a whole lot of interesting comments. I believe one of my commenters made a comparison to Nazi Germany. And I think that's a bit harsh. I just want to do what's right in my mind. Anyway, what I'd like to do now is to explain a few choices I made along the way, coming up to episode 5, and my reasoning, and just so to explain to you why I chose these choices. That doesn't mean that my choices are the right choices. They are for me, but they might not be for you. But we've been over that, so. Anyway, okay, so why did I kill Was it dumb or D? I don't remember. So I choose to kill the D/dumb brother. So why did I do that? Some people suggested that it just lowers me to their level. That's you know, a rather pathetic thing to do, lowering yourself to a other person's level if they're being, you know, being really violent or just generally a bad person. Don't lower yourself to their level. That's something I totally agree with. However, in this case, at first, you know, when I made the choice, I had a few things in mind. I'll admit that, you know, my adrenaline was surging, so I would have none of that nonsense. But I think I explained this in the video, but I'm all about consequences of your actions, and we gave them the option to turn down, turn back, go away several times. Several times. They had tried to kill me and harm my friends even before this is a little accident here, or incident. And now they start like gunning me down in broad daylight. And I don't think you can blame anyone for using lethal force in that moment. He was kind of helpless when we killed him. And while that is true, if we let him go, he might go after Snow while I'm occupied with Bloody Mary. And that's not a thing I'm willing. That's not a risk I'm willing to take at this point. You know, things have already escalated way out of control. So that was one. What's what I'm looking for here? One of the reasons I took him down was so he wouldn't be able to harm anyone I'm trying to protect while I'm going on my rampage. So, but yeah, the first reaction was I'm gonna kill this guy because he's been after me and my friends for too long, and if I get the option, I'm gonna kill him. But then again, you start thinking rationally. So my second thought was, okay, I'm gonna kill him because I need to save my friends, and he that's one of the certain ways to make sure he doesn't come back and do that again. That said, I don't see anything wrong with letting him go, because as we know, letting him go doesn't really harm anyone else, because Bloody Mary shoots you and blah blah. But I wanted to make sure he stayed down, and that's why I did it. And you're free to disagree with me, of course. So don't take this at you know, the final thing in this matter. Okay, so second thing that people reacted over, and something I haven't seen anyone else do, I don't think anyway, is that I burnt down Greenleafs Tree. Now, this was even more of the outrage because of this was even more than the D-Dumb brother thing. And while... Okay, so one thing that I had to clarify here is that when I made that choice, I believed that making glamours was illegal. And it isn't strictly illegal, it is frowned upon, but it's not strictly illegal. However, she was helping out the black market with this stuff, and I don't want anything to do with a black market, you know, undercutting the nice, safe, albeit expensive 13th floor witches, you know. So she was doing something illegal, in my eyes. She, I have this note here. I've written down a few things. Her magics they potentially they were potentially involved in the deaths of two fables, and what really got to me was she was committed not to help our cause for the longest time, until we like threatened to burn down the tree, and then she was like, "Oh no, I'm gonna help you." And all of these things just added up, I felt in the end that she was not a person to be trusted, and if I can't trust this person not doing the right thing, I'm not gonna, as Snow says, reward her by sending her to the witches and be like a good guy. And so I burned down the tree. Also, it was an order from my superior, and I'm a sucker for authority, and if whatever she says goes, within reason. And I thought that was a reasonable order, so I did it. And I don't regret it. And I think that scene was very well played out. You could really hear her anger, her anguish when we burned down the tree. But at least now we know she won't cause trouble with magic. Of course, she might cause trouble with more mundane means, now that she hates us. But we'll see if that has any consequences in this episode. Okay, so number 3 and 4 is like, why did I send Colin and Toad to the farm? And this is for me, this was a very simple choice. They broke the rule, or they weren't following the rules, rather, and thus they needed to be relocated to the farm so they don't endanger the rest of the fables living in Fabletown. Okay, so the thing is the scene was set up in such a great way that Colin actually defends you against Snow in the beginning, as she starts to berate Bigby about changing into his form and going on this massacre. And Colin is there to defend you. So the knee-jerk reaction to this is, of course, to not send your friend who has just defended you against this authoritarian figure to the farm. And I can totally see where you guys are coming from when you say, how could you send Colin to the farm? You'd say you have so much empathy, and then you go do something like that. But I like to think that it is because I have so much empathy, not just for my friends, but for everyone, that I'm making these choices. It's not because I'm happy to make them. Just, if there was a good way to please everyone, I will probably try and take that route. But this, as Snow again says, the rules are there for a very good reason, and that's to protect Fabletown and its inhabitants. Alright? So that's why I sent Colin to the farm, and that's why I sent Toad to the farm as well. Now, I admit that as it is now, the system is kind of broken, because Colin, how is he going to find a job to get money? Because he's a pig, and he can't use... how is he going to work in a Fabletown environment? And Toad himself is... While it was shady, I know he's trying to get money, but perhaps it's just... Yeah, he's trying to get money, but he can't get enough money to get glamours. So, they can't get glamours. So, what I would like to see, now this is me thinking aloud here, is that if Fables could get just a one-off loan from the state, so they could get a glamour, then they could go to work, and they could get money, pay off the loan. Solved. And I'm hoping that Snow might be thinking along the same routes as I am. Because the old regime didn't really work that well, But now Snow's in charge, and I have more faith in her than Crane. So, there you go. But until that day, I'm still going to follow orders from Snow. I mean, one thing I do regret. Okay, so one thing I do regret is when she told me I shouldn't change form, I said, alright, I won't do it. But I think that one commenter said, you're only agreeing with Snow because you want to get laid. And that's not the case. You know, this could be Bluebeard sprouting these orders and I will still follow them. But I do agree with the commenters that wasn't the correct choice. I mean, what should I have done? I mean, I could have just stayed human and got my ass kicked even more, and I wouldn't have been able to defend anyone. So, if that happened again, if I need to transform again, I'll probably do it. Even if Snow doesn't say. I mean, I'll do it if it makes sense. If I really need it, I'll change form in a heartbeat. If I'm doing it to aid in my investigation or help the citizens of Fabletown. Cause that's what it's all about, really. I am not the law, I am the enforcer of the law. Snow is actually the law in Fabletown at the moment. She calls the shots. I'm the enforcer of the law. And if I can't enforce the law, then what good am I as a sheriff? I mean, sometimes it's good to think outside the box, but you can do that within the regulated systems. Don't you think? Anyway, I've been talking about this for like how long now? I'll probably put a annotation up so you can just skip me rambling about these things. Anyway, this is Let's Play lawful playthrough of The Wolf Among Us, and I think it's about time we start episode 5, don't you think? Yeah.